Hello and welcome to Inside Sports. I'm Wes Decker. So great to have you along this week, and we begin with something off the beaten path unless you're driving on a road in Montana. It seems that the state of Montana, and in particular the Montana Fish and Wildlife Commission, is working with smartphone manufacturers to create an app for salvaging roadkill. Now, here are some of the rules. First off, the meat has to be eaten and not used for bait. It's all or nothing. The whole carcass must be taken, so you can't pick and choose. It's not a la carte. The permit must be requested within 24 hours of the kill, so you almost have to be right there. You have to be the one responsible for it. And one permit is required per animal. Now, this isn't the first state to allow this type of salvaging. It's the first one to look at this potential app for the permitting process, but already on board, Idaho, Illinois, and Alaska. Also reported this week, the cost of making chocolate has gone up almost 70% because of high demand in India and some bad weather in the places where the cocoa beans are actually harvested. So maybe we can put all of this together into one fell swoop. Here are some of the concoctions that I've come up with. First off, maybe some dipped dillo, not old dillo. We don't want Willie Nelson to be upset again. Or perhaps we'll go with the chocolate-covered muskrat. Or there's always the chocolate mousse, taking literally now. I sure hope you weren't eating when you tuned in. I'm sure you're not now, so now that I have your full attention, here's what's coming up on the show this week. Got a couple of Boonsboro soccer players here before we're all through, Bre Springer and Alli Hawbaker, to talk about their bid for a #1 region seed, and they're right on the brink of wrapping up a conference championship too. In addition to that, a couple of Smithsburg football players who enjoyed their first win this week, Dalton Condo and Matt Sprecher, will join me. And I'm back right after this as we begin with our featured football game. And there's more too, all coming up on Inside Sports.
Behind every great child, there is a great foundation. Premier Martial Arts will empower your child and give them a premier foundation to success. Our instructors have the passion to teach classes designed to build premier skills. Your child will develop greater self-control, confidence, and concentration. Premier Martial Arts will take your child up the path of greatness. Call Premier Martial Arts today.
Honey, I just got the mail. We got 6 new bills today.
We don't have enough money.
Mommy, will we still get to live in our house?
It may be time to consider bankruptcy. Call Bodie Law. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family.
Injured on the job? Been denied compensation? Need money for medical bills and lost wages? Know your rights. Insurance companies have lawyers, and so should you. Protect yourself. Call Bodie Law, your Hagerstown legal team, for help at 888-823-1255. It's what we do for you that counts.
Welcome back to the show. This week's featured football game provided a matchup of two teams attempting to continue rolling with the momentum they've been building. The Boonsboro Warriors came in 4-1 overall and brimming with confidence, having pitched the first shutout by a county team this season in their 38-0 victory over Brunswick 7 days earlier. Conversely, the 3-2 North Hagerstown Hubs had hit a high note with their offense, and plenty of it, in their Week 5 demolition of Williamsport 63-18 the previous Friday. But inasmuch as this was a showdown between two teams, Mike Callis Stadium would become one player's rain-slick playground before the night was over. The Hubs entered through the raindrops on a mission to capture their first home victory of the season on homecoming. And the captain's pregame handshakes provided the final pleasantries leading up to the 38th all-time meeting between North and Boonsboro. The Hubs came in riding a 3-game series winning streak, and after Preston Carey fielded the bouncing football and splished and splashed his way out to the 29-yard line with the opening kickoff, the offense immediately endeavored to make it 4 straight. And on the third play from scrimmage, it was Carey who outdueled Warrior defensive back Ethan Foster to hauling quarterback Nick Carlin's pass for a 32-yard gain to the Boonsboro 27. From there, Isaiah Keys donned his cape, his all-weather cape at that, to help the Hubs overcome a penalty that wiped out a touchdown and a bad snap that cost his team 20 yards with 2 big runs, the second of which capped the 10-play, 5-minute, and 8-second scoring drive that put North in front 7-0. And the Hub D was all about preserving that lead, swarming relentlessly to force a quick Boonsboro 3-and-out on the Warriors' first series. However, thanks to Trevor Walsh's perfect punt off an imperfect snap no less, Boonsboro had at least grabbed the upper hand in the field position department until Keys went left, right, left, and straight to the house. 73 yards on the 5th play of the 92-yard drive to up the North Hagerstown margin to 14 with 2:57 left in the first quarter. Coming off a spectacular 344-yard rushing performance a week ago, Keys has already reached 139 in this one. And 3 punts later, 2 by Boonsboro, the numbers grew for number 2 when he ripped off touchdown run number 3, an 18-yarder, 3 minutes and 46 seconds into quarter number 2. Now trailing 21-0, the Warriors proceeded to aid the Hub cause on their ensuing possession when Foster mishandled the lateral and Ron Carter recovered it at the Boonsboro 27-yard line. It took North 6 plays in nearly 4 minutes, but Carey would finish off the drive from 17 yards out to push the advantage to 28-0, the lead the Hubs would take with them to halftime. After stalling out at the North Hagerstown 15-yard line on their opening possession of the second half, the Warriors earned themselves a second shot when Matt Crown extricated the ball and Dakota Pfeiffer came up with it at the Hubs 26. But the second time would not be the charm, and after each team was stopped on downs, Boonsboro had moved back into plus territory until the offensive player of the first half made his presence felt in the second half on defense. Isaiah Keys picked off Jeff Bennett and then picked his path to a pick 6 right along the Warriors sideline to extend the North lead to 35-0. With the running clock now in effect and the rain back in full effect, less than 3 minutes later, Keys victimized Boonsboro again, this time intercepting Devin Griffith's pass and returning it back 45 yards for his 5th TD of the night, incredibly tying the North Hagerstown school record for the 2nd week in succession. Behind 42-0 now, the Warriors refused to stop giving effort though, and it finally paid off when Tyler Hollis raced 38 yards to the end zone to break up the shutout with 6:29 remaining in the game. The only blemish on an otherwise successful yet rain-soaked evening for North in a dominant 42-7 victory, one in which the North defense was just as impressive as the offense, limiting Boonsboro to just 7 first downs in large part because it allowed the Warriors to convert only 2 of 10 third downs. The Hub D also held Boonsboro to just 188 total yards and forced 4 turnovers. 2 of those, Isaiah Keys instantly turned into points because that's what he does, and the Hub record book reflects it. Keys is now number 1 on the Hub's all-time list in career and single-season defensive TDs with 4, and with 3 interceptions on Friday, he's far and away the leader in career picks with 16, plus he's now established a new single-season mark with 8. Offensively, Keys rushed for 253 yards against Boonsboro, giving him 1,009 for the year, and he scored 3 more touchdowns. That makes 10 total in the last 2 games and 15 for the season. Keys and his 4-2 Hubs go for more Friday night at 3-3 Catoctin. Boonsboro, now 4-2, gets the other Isaiah on Friday when it hosts Mr. Smith and his Rebels. I play host to a couple of Smithsburg football players. Dalton Condo and Matt Sprecher join me right after this.
At Murray's Tire and Auto, we were here for you then, and we're here for you now. While the way we look might have changed over the years, the quality of the work you've come to count on remains the same. From preventive maintenance services to emissions repairs to major and minor mechanical work. Plus, Murray's carries Cooper and other major brands of tires and uses state-of-the-art equipment to accommodate all rim and tire sizes. And now shopping for tires has never been easier. At Murray's, your family's safety behind the wheel is important to us as our own. Enjoy old-fashioned service with all the modern conveniences at Murray's Tire and Auto. Still here for you in Williamsport. Antietam Cable is pleased to announce another exciting innovation, Antietam To Go. Antietam To Go lets you watch TV shows on your computer or portable device, laptop, tablet, smartphone. Watch what you want, when you want, where you want from the most popular networks on television. Power Antietam To Go with Antietam high-speed internet for the perfect entertainment combo. Just visit myactv.net/Antietam To Go to get started. It's TV your way with Antietam To Go, free with your TV subscription. Thank you for being an Antietam Cable customer.
Welcome back to the show. More Week 6 football now, and I'm joined by a couple of Smithsburg Leopards, Matt Sprecher and Dalton Condo. Welcome to the show, guys, and congratulations on the victory. It took until Monday to get that win, a little Monday night football, but you make for a happy homecoming in the end. And more importantly, Matt, get the first win of the season. I'm sure that was a little bit of a monkey on your back, especially, being a senior. You want to get a win. You want to, get this victory against the team, too, that's never beaten you. Obviously, they have a lot of motivation to come and defeat Smithsburg. So tell me a little bit about the game last night from your perspective, one that was kind of back and forth until the fourth quarter when your team really took over.
I guess last night there was a little pressure. We didn't want to be the first team in the history of Smithsburg to lose against Clear Spring. So we just wanted to come out and put the pressure on them.
Yeah, and early on, Clear Spring doing a pretty good job. I mean, the first few times that Smithsburg had the football in that game, pretty much 3 plays, but one of those plays was the big one to Garrett Spinks, who goes 55 yards for a touchdown. So as you said, you kind of get a little of that pressure alleviated from the beginning by getting the early lead. But then in the second quarter, Clear Spring kind of turned things around, and they took the largest lead they've ever had in this series against Smithsburg, up by 8 points, Dalton. And with you playing both offense and defense, you have a say in that game both ways. Tell me what you guys were thinking at that time. Still a lot of football to be played, but down in the football game by 8 points.
Our defense, we just knew we had to step it up, and we knew that they were going to come out and try trick plays, do anything to score.
Yeah, and there were some trick plays, that's for sure. And it seemed to me, and maybe you can tell me how it felt to you on the field and maybe what was related to you in terms of what was talked about on the sideline, that onside kick that they went for, it seemed that was a little bit almost of rubbing salt in the wound, that they weren't worried about what you might do based on where you would get the football. They don't recover that onside kick, and it seemed to sort of ignite Smithsburg at that point. Mm-hmm. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where it's kind of like, hey, we're not really respecting you guys. We're going to go ahead. We're going to pull all of the tricks out of the bag. But you know, they were able to connect on that double pass that went for a touchdown. But you guys kind of stuck with your game plan for the most part. I mean, you know, running the football, trying to establish that. But the passing game was working well last night too. Matt, why did that seem to click so well? I mean, it wasn't a lot of long passing, really stretching the field vertically, but just kind of throwing underneath. Was it just taking what the defense was given?
Yes, they were just giving us the short little passes, so we just took what they gave us and executed.
Yeah, and at halftime, Smithsburg up 18-14, and then that third quarter was kind of a strange quarter because it seemed like Clear Spring had the ball for an eternity. And as much as they had the ball, and the defense was out there on the field for a long time, obviously they threw a lot of passes last night, so if a pass is incomplete, it stops the clock. Man, it seemed to take forever. But to Smithsburg's credit, defensively in the third quarter, you only give up the 1 touchdown. Yes, they take the lead, but it could have been worse. So then all of a sudden the fourth quarter comes along, and in what was a physical football game, and Dalton, maybe you can talk about this a little bit, because I remember one hit in particular you had on defense in that second half of the football game. I mean, guys were just giving all the effort they had. I mean, how much did you leave out there on the field last? I mean, how are you feeling today? Let me ask you that.
I'm pretty sore today. The coaches pretty much, we knew what they were going to run. The coaches prepared us pretty well. On that play, we knew that they were going to clear the receivers out and have the running back come out, and so I just followed my read, and it took me right to the play.
Yeah, and boy, you got there right on time. It was perfectly. That was the pass to Damian Poet coming out of the backfield, and it looked like he had a chance maybe to get something out of that, but you closed on him, made the play, and that was really the story of the fourth quarter, the Smithsburg defense and the offense with 21 points in that quarter. Matt, you catch a 2-point conversion pass there in the fourth quarter, and the big run at the end, and it must have been a sigh of relief as that game ticked down. In the end, the fourth quarter really bogged down by a lot of penalties late. But in the end, just tell me about the feeling coming off the field with that victory. You know, was it relief? Was it adulation? I mean, describe your feelings.
Oh, it felt pretty good. We've had a lot of close games. All our games from the beginning of the season have been really close, and we finally just got the win. It felt good to finally complete and play 4 quarters and win a ball game.
Yeah, 40-27 the final. Smithsburg team that had only scored 52 points in the first 5 games of the season, but as Coach Orndorff pointed out, really, you could have won the majority of those games if things had just gone your way. So it's been a bit of a frustrating season from that perspective, because you played a 1-possession game every game with the exception of the game the previous week against South. And now you get Williamsport coming up this Saturday. Guys, best of luck in that game and going forward here. And thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. I will be back right after this, all by myself, with the rest of Week 6's football and some volleyball in just a moment.
Boxes are good for a number of things, but not as your flooring store.
Excuse me, where can I find your ceramic tile expert?
Ceramic tile expert? You're looking at him.
But aren't you the...
Ceramic tile expert.
At Carpet Gallery, flooring isn't just one of the things we do, it's the only thing we do. And when they say free, we say, really? Here, you'll meet with flooring and ceramic tile experts with over 70 years of experience, and that's for real, and that's real value. Trust Carpet Gallery for all your flooring needs and think outside the box.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. Now, it's a universally accepted notion that cats don't exactly have an affinity for water. Therefore, with the rain pelting down Friday night in Hancock, there figured to be plenty of scratching, clawing, and attempts to escape as the Panthers hosted the Panthers of Rappahannock County. As it turned out, the visiting cats were the ones seeking the escape route, as Hancock seemed to revel in playing on the saturated field. The home Panthers never threw a pass, but their quarterback still shredded the Rappahannock defense like an old newspaper. Jesse Wolford dug his nails in to run for 140 yards on the soggy ground en route to 4 trips to the end zone, and the Hancock D handled the rest, treating the Rappahannock County offense like a toy filled with catnip. Hancock's 46-0 victory provides the Panthers with a catbird seats view of the postseason with 4 regular season games to go. Hancock carries their 5-1 record into Friday night's home encounter with 1-500. Halfway to 100, that's where South Hagerstown ended up on Saturday. The Rebels ran out to a 40-0 second quarter lead and cruised to a convincing 50-8 beatdown of Brunswick in a game transplanted to Middletown because of the weather. It was of no consequence where the game was played to Isaiah Smith. 1 week after lasting just the first half against Smithsburg, Smith was, well, Smith-like again on Saturday. The county's new all-time rushing king battered Brunswick to the tune of 215 yards on 30 carries and scored 6 of South's 7 touchdowns. The other came on the legs of another key player the Rebels welcomed back, quarterback Brandon Jackson. And oh, by the way, as if South needed another weapon in the arsenal, Braden Tyner capped the afternoon by booting a 47-yard field goal. The Rebel defense tallied 5 more takeaways, too. That's 13 in the last 3 games for a team that's not coincidentally now won 3 in a row. Now 5-1, South Hagerstown visits 4-2 Boonsboro on Friday. Homecoming at Williamsport on Saturday turned into a coming-out party for the Catoctin offense. After Williamsport grittily trimmed a 20-0 deficit to 12 at halftime and then climbed back to within 2 scores late in the third quarter when Jeremiah Yonker accepted and then returned this Catoctin gift to the house, the Cougars lit up the struggling Wildcat D for 19 fourth-quarter points to finish off Williamsport and a 47-14 W. The Cats turned the ball over 6 times on Saturday and are now allowing over 40 points per game. They'll face a team that just scored 40, Smithsburg, on Saturday night in a matchup of 1-5 teams. Last Saturday afternoon, St. James yielded 42 points for the second consecutive week, falling to Flint Hill 42-6 and falling to 2-4 on the year. The Saints have a bye this week. Now, in volleyball, if it's October and the red, white, and black of North Hagerstown is mixing it up with the purple and gold of Smithsburg, you can bet the color of the night will be pink in the name of Breast Cancer Awareness Cumberland Valley. Yes, the teams came together for that common cause, but they were also on a mission for something only one could achieve: first place in the Antietam Conference, and the defending conference champs from North would have to get it done without a key player. Zoe Schreiber, watched from the bench, confined to a walking boot, thus out for the night and out indefinitely. But in her absence, her teammates stepped up right from the start. Kalia Frost set the tone on the night's opening point, and Mickey Moody followed shortly thereafter to stake the Hubs to a 5-2 lead. Then it was Christine Randall who moved to Schreiber's middle hitter position, who upped the North advantage to 7-3. With Smithsburg down but far from out, the one player North had trouble with all night, Amanda Snowden, helped inch her team back into it before Elena Black's block leveled the game at 9. North answered with a run that put them back ahead 15-13 after Moody's kill, only to be countered by a 5-2 leopard spree whereby Peyton Balella's ace gave the home team its first lead at 18-17, though it wouldn't last. Coach Megan Crawford's Hubs were able to regroup, and Tana McKenzie's winner lifted North to a 23-21 edge. Smithsburg then battled back to tie it at 23 before the Hubs scored the final 2 points, with Randall finishing it off 25-23. Randall then snapped a 4-4 second set deadlock with 3 straight service points to give North Hagerstown a 7-4 lead that became 16-13 before Black capped a 6-0 run that vaulted Smithsburg on top 19-16. From there, the Leopards scored 6 of the next 10 to even the match at a game apiece. North Hagerstown rekindled the fire that led it to capture the first set, coming out hot to start the pivotal third, jumping to an 8-1 advantage. But after the Hubs extended the lead to 10-2, the Leopards answered with 5 straight on the strength of Jenny Fritz's serving, only to have North sprint back out to a 10-point margin at 19-9, thanks in part to a 6-point Sarah Bentley service run and this Frost punctuation point. But the Leopards just needed a stop and a 6-point service run by Balella, which they got, to climb back within 19-16 and would subsequently close to within 2 points late on Snowden's kill, only to lose their uphill battle when Randall rammed home the game winner to put North in the driver's seat 2-1. With their backs against the wall, the resilient Leopards roared out of the gate in the 4th set to take a 5-0 lead on Holly Winder's winner, and when Black powered this one home, the Smithsburg Bulge was 8 at 12-4. Later, it was Winder's again to push the edge to 17-5, but North refused to go away as McKenzie served 5 in succession, with Randall putting this one down to pull the Hubs back within 7 at 20-13, but Smithsburg would hold North at bay, and when this one sailed out, the Leopards had forced a 5th and deciding set, in which the Hubs took control early, opening up a 7-4 lead on Moody's kill and stretching their advantage to 10-4 on Randall's big swing. Snowden finally stemmed the tide for Smithsburg, but it proved to be just temporary as Randall righted the North Hagerstown ship before Jay LaBelle steered the Hubs to the brink of victory, where Frost's block would seal the deal in a seesaw 25-23, 20-25, 25-22, 18-25, 15-8 thriller. With a hard-fought W, North Hagerstown improves to 5-0 in the Antietam with just a lone conference game against sub-500 Catoctin remaining. Smithsburg had dropped just 1 set all season coming in and suffers its first overall and conference defeat of the year. Highlights next week of the Leopards taking on Williamsport in a second-place showdown from Tuesday night. Just ahead on this week's show, Boonsboro girls soccer players Alli Hawbaker and Bre Springer right here when you come back.
What's bigger than a baker's dozen and a lot more exciting? Antietam Cable's Sports Plus, 18 extra sports channels, MLB Network, Golf Channel, ESPNU, Big Ten Network, Outdoor Channel, World Fishing Network, Horse Racing TV, Fox College Sports, NFL Network, NFL Red Zone, every touchdown from every game every Sunday during the regular season, and more. Antietam Cable Sports Plus, just $7.99 per month. If you already have a digital box, you can get Sports Plus activated instantly. Call now, 301-797-5000.
Early detection is the key in the fight against breast cancer.
If you notice something, get it looked at. Don't wait. My biggest regret is I waited, and I end up being stage 3 and 7 of my lymph nodes. So don't wait. If you think there's something wrong, get it taken care of.
Log on to antietamcable.com/stop breast cancer for links that could save your life.
Welcome back to the show. I'm joined now by a couple of Boonsboro Warriors soccer players, Bre Springer and Alli Hawbaker. Welcome to the show. And so far this season, it has been a great year for Boonsboro. Coming off a big win on Thursday night, really putting yourself in a position to capture the Antietam Conference crown, 1-0 in the rain at Williamsport. Although, curiously, there's no video of that to speak of. And if I asked Williamsport, they probably say, well, perhaps that game didn't happen because nobody's been able to document it. Obviously, though, the 1-0 victory, a big win for your team, Bre. And talk about the success of the team at this point, but the season didn't exactly start off that way. You lose in the county tournament, first game out of the blocks. That was in penalty kicks, and then fall to Liberty in the next game, but now 8 straight wins. So what's been responsible for the turnaround?
I think we came out slow because the past couple of years, we were always winning, and we didn't really have much competition, but now, when we came out, we thought we were just going to roll over everybody, and now we realize that we have competition and we need to work really hard, and that's what we started to do.
Alli, has it made a difference in your mindset this season, knowing that you've moved up in classification now to 2A. Obviously, that doesn't factor in completely until you get to the playoffs, but still, is that something that's a little bit in the back of your mind?
Yeah, I think so. I think our first game when we played Liberty, obviously it was an eye-opener because we lost and they were really tough competition. So we kind of figured out that it was going to be a tough season, and I think that helped motivate us a lot.
And coming up tonight, as we tape this today on Tuesday, you have Catoctin on the road. This has really been a road Warriors team, though, because
Yes.
you've only had 3 home games all year. So you go there tonight with that conference championship on the line. And when I talked to your coach, Chris Lance, before the season started, he said, we're really geared up this year in going after the county. Obviously, that didn't quite work out, but now the conference champ. How important is it for you to win that conference championship?
I think it's really important for us as a team because last year we didn't get it, and it's always kind of been our goal to get NVAL champions. And so we had it 2 years before that, so I think it's a big deal. There's a lot on line.
And Bre, this season, again, when I talked to Coach Lance before the year began, he said, we're going to try to be more offensive-minded this year. We hope to score. That hasn't exactly been the case this year, and you were the Inside Sports Soccer Player of the Year a year ago. Very minuscule goals against average. This year, it's even less. You're getting a little more goal support. I think half a goal more per game. What's your mindset when you're in net? Do you go out there every game, figuring that what you do is going to be so pivotal to the success of the team? I mean, is there a lot of pressure on you?
There's not a lot of pressure on me. Like I always go out there and play my absolute heart out for my team and for Michaela, of course.
And sometimes your shoulder out.
Oh no, I had surgery for that 2 years ago, but that was a problem.
Yeah.
But I think we are attacking a lot more this year, and we're doing really, really well this year.
And you mentioned Michaela Grove, who unfortunately was lost during the summer, just something that nobody obviously saw coming. How much of a rallying point has that been for this team? Because it's had to be an emotional roller coaster in a lot of ways.
It's really, really rough, but I also think it brought us together as a family a lot more because we're all coming together and we're realizing that we're playing for her. Like everything we do is for her.
And it has to be difficult in a way, Alli, because Williamsport had a similar situation with Sam Kelly relating to volleyball and the baseball team with Brendan Cauliflower. But for you guys, Michaela would have been a part of this team this year. So what are some of the things that you've done to sort of honor her memory and play in the honor of her memory this season?
Well, I mean, just the mindset. Every time we walk on the field, it's for Michaela. Our cheer is always Michaela on 3.
Yeah.
And
which was her number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
and we have these shirts, obviously.
Yeah. I mean,
our armbands.
Right.
Yeah.
And those things at the forefront of your mind. Do you think that that's helped this team kind of turn things around? Because as Bre said at the beginning of the season, a little bit overconfident. Maybe your minds had wandered a little bit. They were on some things that, perhaps you just needed to focus in a little more on the season because all of a sudden, this team is just unbeatable at this juncture.
I mean, I think at the beginning of the season also we were still a little bit emotional and things were hard to deal with. It was hard to walk out on the field without her also. But I think it brought us together a lot and we play for her and we play for each other a lot more than we have. So it's helped us.
Absolutely amazing to me right now. I mean, the 6 straight wins coming into this Catoctin game, and you've outscored opponents 14-1. I mean, that is just absolutely shutting down the other team and obviously getting enough goals to win those games. Certainly wish you the best of luck here as this season continues and heads toward the postseason. I know playing for potentially the #1 seed in the region too, so still a lot to play for, a lot more of this year to go. It's been fun watching you to this point, so best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
And that'll do it for this week's show. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again in 7 days on The Inside.
Hey, your sisters and your brothers, your haters and your lovers, you gotta get up in the streets. Hey, don't complain, mother, they hiding under color, you gotta get up on your feet. Now I feel it in my bones again. Yeah, feel it, but you're never gonna let it in until you get up.